This is the High School Football America 2-Minute Drill podcast for August 24th, 2018. I'm Jeff Fisher. The High School Football America 2-Minute Drill is brought to you by the Debris Inhibitor Razor. Stop those pesky rubber pellets from field turf from getting into your shoes with a TDI razor that also gives you the great look of spatting without the high cost of tape. Today on the drill, we're going to talk to an NFL Hall of Famer who has decided to go back to his roots to become a high school football head coach. And he was a head coach at the highest level of the game with the San Francisco 49ers. Earlier this year, it was announced that Mike Singletary, who is a member of the Texas High School Football Hall of Fame, was going to become the new head coach at Trinity Christian Academy in Addison, Texas. He's already into his first camp. He played his high school football at Worthing High School before moving on to Baylor University and then, of course, the Chicago Bears in the NFL. And earlier today, I had a chance to talk with Mike about why he headed back to the roots of football.
Well, it's just the opportunity. I never really thought I'd have a chance to coach at the high school level in Texas. And having that opportunity after trying professional and collegiate, couldn't find the right fit. And this opened up, and it was a great opportunity.
And so you've now been knee deep in it. You're in your first camp. Tell me a little bit about the enjoyment you're having. Obviously, you said you wanted the opportunity. So tell me a little bit about what you've been doing and how much fun it's been.
Well, I think it's been great. Obviously, having the opportunity to coach high school in Texas is a very special opportunity, and I didn't ever know if I have this opportunity, and getting the opportunity to actually do it. The kids are fantastic. The attitude's fantastic, and we're just working on some things to get the team where we need it to be and kind of go from there.
The game's still the same. It's still a 100-yard field from when you were back playing high school football. What's the biggest difference you've seen in your players from back when you were knocking heads and busting helmets? If I remember some of the stories about you when you were in high school.
Well, I think the biggest difference, obviously when you begin to look at the different generations, the greatest generation ever, the millennials, Generation X, Gen Zs, the whole 9 yards, I think every generation is just a little bit different, depending on how mom and dad or the grandparents handle their generation. I think the biggest difference for the kids today is not having a true picture of the greatness of our country. Mm-hmm. Not really understanding the greatness of this country. And I think whether you're an African American or anything else, having the opportunity to live in America is truly a great opportunity. Obviously, it is not perfect, like many of our families, but it is still very special.
Sure, absolutely. I had the honor and pleasure of seeing you speak at USA Football. I guess that was earlier this year, and you were talking about your high school football coach and, just being, the guy that kind of was disciplined and helped you, develop or start to develop into the man that you became. Tell me a little bit about the coaches that have coached you and how, especially at the high school level, and how much of them are in you as you kind of dial it back to the grassroots of football now.
I think I truly believe that the Lord just really set great men in my along the journey. It was amazing to me as I look back at every level. I've had great coaches, great men. In high school, I just think that the coach was more about life. Coach Brown was more about life than he was about anything. He talked about how the game of football and the game of life are so very similar, and some of the habits that you develop on the field, it's gonna carry over, and you're gonna develop those same habits in life. And you can't be a winner in one arena and be a loser in another. Those habits always seem to follow, and so wanting to be a great football player, wanting to be a great student, wanting to be a great citizen. I just find it very difficult to be one and not be another.
Mm-hmm. Makes a lot of sense. And you mentioned your faith a little bit earlier. Certainly you're at a Christian school. I've got a lot of faith. I believe the good Lord gives us a lot of things for a lot of reasons. So tell me a little bit about the integration of your faith and as a head coach of men at a school where faith is an important aspect to everyday life.
Well, once again, you take it back to the generation when you talk about faith. When you think at one time in our country that faith was 95, 97% of all of the schools, whether they were universities or high schools or elementary, every school used to be faith-based. Mm-hmm. And, how we've grown so far away from it kind of gives you an idea of where we've gotten away from it as a country. But I just know that every individual, every organization, every football team, and I was just talking to our guys the other day about it, how it is so important that every one of us, have to have a spirit about us. And it's the spirit of, that's just our convictions, our beliefs. And so it's just knowing that there's something very special in each and every one of us and going out and trying to exemplify that in every game.
Talking with Mike Singletary tonight on the show. As far as, the kids these days, you mentioned millennials, and, you certainly, no one my age, and I'm 58, doesn't know who Mike Singletary is. Did they know who Mike Singletary was when you stepped in front of them there in the locker room for whatever the first chat was or the opening of camp? Do those kids know who you are and what you've done?
Well, it's social media today is positive and negative in terms of what they're able to just pick up the phone and see. Yeah. Yes, they had some of them say, hey, how about tell us about the Super Bowl Shuffle? Hey, tell us about William Perry. Tell us about Walter Payton. Well, tell us about the broken helmet. So, it just depends on from A to Z which thing that really caught their attention.
Yeah, no, I certainly get that. So let's just wrap up with a little bit about what your camp looks like so far and some of the goals that you've set for this group of young men for the 2018 season.
Well, I think more so than anything, the toughest goal is having them understand that the toughest competition that we have this year is not on our schedule. It's in us. If we can just do the things that we know that we need to do, then everything else will take care of itself. So I'm just challenging each and every player to just make sure that we look deep within ourselves and not lie to ourselves about who we can be and what we can be, and go from there.
And then the last question is, we all know that you're Mr. Intensity there. Certainly NFL different than high school. What's the demeanor going to be like on the sidelines there, Coach?
Well, I've had a chance to really look at how I believe God really wants me to coach. Mm-hmm. And it is making sure that whatever I do and everything that I do, the intensity, that doesn't go away. The heart, the drive, that doesn't go away. But the emotion in which I go about it has gone away. And I'm excited about coaching from the inside out and being a coach and coaching instead of being a player and coaching. Mm-hmm. And you know what? I was going to let you go on that question, but one other thing came to mind because we have so many coaches that listen to this broadcast and look for nuggets. And the profession of coaching is a great one, especially in the state of Texas, as you mentioned before. And I've got so many friends down there and recognize it myself. So if you have a young man that's just come out of high school, wants to maybe go back to his alma mater and give back, or just wants to get involved, he's 22, 23, just got out of college. What are some of the key points you would say to a young man about entering the profession that is so critical to the development of young men? I think what's really critical for a young man that really wants to get back in the game and coach and give back, and find a program that is that has at the very top of that program a leader that has a vision for greatness. Not just greatness on the field, not just going to work you to death and have you there all time tonight, but really understand that the development of young men, the respect of his coaches. It is one thing to be a great coach, but to me it's much more important to be a great person. And I think if character is what you have to look for first, don't just look at the wins and losses. Look at the character of that individual as well as the wins, and find your place.
There he is, the man with those intense eyes in the middle of the Chicago Bears defense back in the mid-'80s. Mike Singletary just chomping at the bit, looking forward to being the head coach in his first camp right now with Trinity Christian Academy in Addison, Texas. He is really excited. He's not the first NFL coach to drop back to the roots. Mike Sherman, who is currently the head coach of the Montreal Alouettes in the Canadian Football League, in 2015 was hired by a Massachusetts school. He stayed there for a couple of years to coach the young boys there. So Mike Singletary, the second. I don't know if there's ever been any other than those two, but anyway, we wish him nothing but success as he heads into his first season as a high school football head coach in the place that he wanted to be, the state of Texas. And speaking of the state of Texas, 12 more days until my book, High School Football in Texas, Amazing Football Stories from the Greatest Players of Texas, hits bookstores and begins shipping from Amazon and Barnes & Noble. And wherever books are sold, if you've pre-ordered it, it will ship on September the 4th. Lots of, I've been watching the ranking there on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, getting very excited seeing people that just can't wait for the book. So they've already ordered it. So thank you for what you've done. The book focuses on many of the state's greatest players, including Mike Singletary, discussing their favorite high school football memories. I interviewed over 24 NFL players. Actually, I think it was above 30. 9 of them in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, a couple in the College Football Hall of Fame. Some are in both. You can go to highschoolfootballamerica.com to see all the links to pre-order it, again, at Amazon and Barnes & Noble, coming out on September the 4th. Don't forget, a big night of high school football around America. More and more states jumping into the 2018 party. You can keep up with all the live scores by going to highschoolfootballamerica.com. I'm going to be at a big game in Georgia here. We're going to watch, tonight, I'm going to watch number 7 Good Counsel from Maryland open its season against number 88 Marietta, which is coming off a loss last week, a shootout loss, 51-41 to Rome. Marietta opened the season ranked number 57, dropped after that loss, but it can hop back up in the poll that comes out Sunday with a big win tonight. We're going to be streaming the game live from the sidelines, so make sure you join us on Facebook. It's facebook.com/High School Football America. The High School Football America 2-Minute Drill is brought to you by the Debris Inhibitor Razor. And that's today's High School Football America 2-Minute Drill podcast, giving you high school football news from around our great nation. Listen on our website, iTunes, Stitcher, or TuneIn Radio. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter at HSFB America for the latest news throughout the day. And you can also keep up with us at Instagram and Facebook. Our handle there, as I said, High School Football America, and you can watch the game streaming tonight at facebook.com/High School Football America. Thanks for listening to the High School Football America 2-Minute Drill. I'm Jeff Fisher.